Hi, Cole.
How's it going, man?
3.
And
Good, man.
Looking good, buddy.
you want to fill me on?
Thank
who
you.
Ty
Thank
is
you.
and-
He does a 2-on-3 podcast.
Okay.
They talk. They know their fucking shit.
They do.
7 days a geek, 7 days a geek, oh, 7 days a geek, 7 days a geek, oh. Greetings and salutations, get ready to binge watch with 3 geeks. Couldn't stop Cole from eating, now he's the workout keto neighbor. Jason the Angry Ginger from Monkey Poo Studios, Limp and Quad Father gives us therapy from his couch. We're talking Netflix and Hulu, everything in the streaming world. Join our weekly watch party. First let's catch up with the geeks. What are you geeking out about? 7 days a geek, 7 days a geek, oh, 7 days a geek, 7 days a geek, oh, 7 days a geek.
Greetings and salutations.
Welcome to another hour of Podtoberfest. This is our 8th hour. We're doing movies turning 30, which would be 1990 if you know your math. I'm the Angry Ginger, sitting inside Monkey Poo Studios with a room full of people, and we've got Ty from the 2-on-3 podcast guesting this hour. The Quad Father, maybe he's a guest, maybe he's a third micer. I'm still on the fence. Cole, how are you?
I'm doing well. I am fucking smashing more
Dude,
and more
I can't.
of this
You
food.
are. There's a plate of food in front of you every other hour.
It happens, bro.
Like,
This
did you hate yourself today?
No, I fasted all day long yesterday.
Oh, that's
and
right, you
now,
told me.
like today,
Yeah.
I told you today is going to be cheat day, and
mean,
you guys are going to witness.
If you need me to go out in the garage and grab a shovel,
I need you to
just
shove
get
a
it in there.
toothbrush down my throat to make me puke later tonight.
I'm ready for round 2.
He a genius now. Boy, he was a baby. Now he's all grown up.
Grant, how you doing, man? You looking frustrated, but you're also looking dapper as
No,
fuck.
well, hey, thank you very much. No,
Thank you for noticing.
I was waiting for Courtney to press a button in the middle of your sentence. So he did. And
So you
didn't
have heard
disappoint.
the show.
And you have heard the roast last hour. He does like to push buttons. We also have Quad Father coming in on the 4th mic, and we also have Ty from the 2-on-3 podcast as well.
Coming on the 5th mic.
There's always one question on everyone's mind. Does his dick work?
So real quick, tell me a little bit about the 2-on-3 podcast. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Ty. I've never heard the show, but I hear that you are basically an educated version of a movie lover compared to us.
Oh, I don't know if I'd compare myself to you guys. That seems, like low company, right? Well, I'm sorry. I just listened to the
I was
roast.
gonna say he's still there. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
He's like, I'm still in roast mode,
Yeah, he's
motherfuckers.
still-
You're all going to catch heat.
No, hey, you fit right in. I'm glad we brought you.
So tell me a little
no,
bit about
the
the show.
Yeah, the 2-on-3 podcast. I do it with my friend Chris. We do a weekly show. It comes out Thursday mornings. It's generally, we call it pop culture, life strategies, and existentialism. But we do pretty much a little bit of everything, and that's why we haven't pigeonholed ourselves into one specific topic, because we want the freedom to roam, if you will.
And so it's just you and him, or do you guys do guests?
We do guests. In fact, we did a combo show with Cole and Jay not too long ago. We've had Jay on to help us with the Bruce Willis bracket. Our mutual friend Chris Meyer just guested on our most recent episode where we did Halloween prep candy bracket. So,
Did I hear your final episode, or was that a slip of the tongue? And
maybe I must have just said final instead of most recent. But no,
Yeah,
we're not.
you've got to be on point, apparently, because Dr. Verbatim here likes to
Jay actually
I
called
caught
it
it
out.
too.
He
Yeah, I
caught
caught
it,
it
and you should see the panic in his eyes. He's like, "What? Your show?"
Shout out to Chris Meyer, One-Liner Notes. They've sponsored several hours this year as well.
Speaking of sponsors, who's sponsoring this hour?
Oh, segue.
You don't have it up?
I got it right here.
Okay.
Sponsor this hour is the Deconstructing Dad podcast, Dan Evans and Jason Parsons.
Thank you, Dan.
Wow, you're sponsoring yourself with
Yeah.
Dan.
And I think
You
we're
know?
just going to go ahead and fucking say fuck off with the hashtag games at this
No
point.
one's playing it.
No one wants to play.
one's
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
You know, I want you to announce him though. You worked hard. At least give the.
I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
You know what?
All right.
Ty, let people know where they can find your podcast.
And what's your
You can find
address? Where can they come over and actually sit in your
At my house. You want me to dox myself live on the internet?
Physical
Yeah.
address. We're going to swat you later.
I'll decline. But you can find the show at 2on3pod.com. You can find us on Twitter at 2on3pod. You can follow me at SEATJK, where I, of course, retweet all of your shows and along with my own.
Sweet.
And everywhere there's a 2 and a 3, you use the numbers.
That's correct. 2 on 3 with the digits.
I know what you're
Try to
doing there,
keep-
Quad. Fuck off.
Try to keep
Well,
this
no,
brief.
Oh, gee, everyone's so paranoid. 7 S E V and
Yeah,
something.
exactly. See?
There it was. There it was. So this hour is movies turning 30.
Now, everyone, there's a link in the chat or in our sheet. You can go ahead and get on there. And I figured we would just go You guys scroll the list, peruse at your leisure, and if you see something that pops out to you, pop it out. I've got clips from 4 movies. I'll tell you what they are.
You know, I can tell the difference
Right
in
now?
our movie likes from the clips that you pulled, and then me looking at the list. I would have pulled completely different fucking clips from movies.
Yeah, well, I have the computer and you don't, so that's why
Fair
I
enough.
did the way I
Is
did.
there a way, Jay?
Quad is a question.
Is there a way for you to take the link to these movies turning 30 and throw that up into the chat so people that join can have it as well?
There is.
If Ty doesn't have it, he probably should.
I thought he
And,
had
okay, so I just wanted to, for context's sake, I wanted to list all of our ages. If we could just do that briefly, it gives because it then puts these 30-year-old movies in context. I turn on the 26th of October. I turned 55.
So in 2 days.
Ty?
Actually turned 41 earlier this month.
Okay, Cole?
I'm the baby in the room. I turned 36. I'm be 37 on December 10th.
Jason? Oh, we're all sending birthday cards apparently.
40. I turned 43 tomorrow. I had to think about how old I was. 43 tomorrow.
And finally, the winged mustache
Don't
man.
sing.
Golden throat
Don't
of
sing.
the industry. Grant
Yeah, the
Markham.
deep throat of the industry.
Hit us with it, Stash.
I'm 47.
Okay,
To who?
so we got a good range. So movies turning 30 will have landed. Gosh, I was
It is?
25, so yeah, it'll land
Oh.
in my aged and your youth. What do we got, gentlemen?
All right, so who wants to go? Let's let Ty throw something. Did you get the link, Ty? Sorry, there's a link in the chat, I think, by now.
I do. I have the list.
Okay, scrolling through, quick scroll. If you get a chance, unless I'm putting you on the spot here, give us something that pops out to you there. What do you think?
I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit, low-hanging Die Hard 2. I think it's a very divisive film. So I think we
Oh,
should start with that.
yeah.
Agreed. Well played, sir. That is definitely.
I just saw a commercial for Die Hard. That was
I know.
all the total. That was amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a whole Die Hard. Like it had Bruce Willis running and a whole action movie.
Yeah, but it was like
phenomenal.
Bruce
It was
Willis.
phenomenal.
Like now that he's aware he's fucking Bruce Willis, so it's like he walked on the set and was like,
Oh, you purist!
Hey,
it was excellent.
"Get
Die
it?
Hard.
Die Hard.
commercial.
Oh, you want me to run?" It was like they shot the whole thing, and then he's like, "You got me for 15 minutes." Right,
Wait,
Ty?
Jason, if you take this point of view, what's Grant going to say? Because you're so negative. His job.
I have a bug up my ass about Bruce Willis because he seems like he doesn't care
It's
anymore.
not true, Grant.
He definitely allowed the character that made him most famous outside of moonlighting to be completely ruined by taking the concept, as we spoke earlier in earlier hours, of the everyman. Why everybody liked his character, John McClane, is because he was an everyman put in an extreme
All
circumstance.
of us could have walked on
Turned
broken
action
glass.
heroes on their head with Die Hard.
Yeah.
That is absolutely correct. But then all of a sudden, you get to some of these other diehards, and he's in these extreme scenarios
Hey,
in which
I
no
can
one
barely
would
drive
survive.
a car, but I can drive a fucking Harrier jet.
Yeah, it ruined
that right?
the character of the everyman, right? You know that.
I mean, after some period of time, though, isn't he?
But he's not Superman, and that's where the movies put him. I mean, if you look at that last movie he did with the one that he had with the
Jai Courtney
with Jay Courtney,
with his son in Russia
it
that
was-
I shut off,
It was ludicrous. There was no reflection of John McClane whatsoever.
and his son is
He
a spy.
got too far away from his roots, is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
basically.
and Bruce Willis kind of, I think, allowed that to happen with the character rather than either not doing it or.
Yeah, but it's
or-
also a sign of the times,
or
right? Everything's superheroes
he
these
could have
days.
just from so long the prolonged going to work while he was dead the whole time in The Sixth Sense could have just really fucked with his mind.
And now look what he's done. He's turned what was once a great and noteworthy career into people like us basically reminiscing nostalgically about those great roles, because now everything he does is like movies with 50 Cent and any other rapper that's making films. It's true. Several of them shot here right in Grand Rapids. And, you know,
can't hear them?
He's not doing anything that has, like, I don't know, impact or speaks to that, I guess, that nostalgic memory I have of him. Does that?
So your thoughts on Die Hard 2?
Mad that you've never wrecked.
Go ahead,
I
Ty.
was going to say that I think Grant just sounds mad that he's never crashed a helicopter with a car.
Pissed off.
Because I think everyone would like to do that. That sounds.
Justin Long called that. I actually like that movie.
So,
Parts of it.
Ty,
Parts.
Where you started off, and you know, as usual, I took it in a totally different direction. So, are you a proponent of Die Hard 2, or are you, is that not for you?
Well, I think Die Hard 2 is underrated. I think that it is definitely not as good as one or three, but that's because 3 is actually the spiritual sequel to Die Hard 1 in the sense that. Yeah, whereas two is just how can we do it again? And they took John McClane character and put him in a different set of circumstances, and he still has to deal with whatever comes his way. Whereas 3 is more of a puzzle film. It's connected to the Hans Gruber character. 2 is kind of a standalone, but that doesn't make it bad. I mean, bands put out bad music. That doesn't make the previous records worse. Or the later Overwatch.
I like your outlook.
Leave Nickelback out of this.
That's pretty funny.
Wait, I didn't realize you're a Canadian music fan.
I love the Canadians and Letterkenny.
There's not a lot of Canadian music.
All right, so you guys, Ty picked Die Hard. I'm gonna go with Misery, and I got a drop here. If you guys would like to listen, this is to me, one of the best moments in cinema ever, and like homage to
your marriage.
Yeah, my marriage.
Is it the hobbling?
Real quick before you play that, quick question for you, Cole. Since this is your choice, the question is relevant, Courtney. Did you watch the limited series Castle Rock, where they took the character of Annie and you know, kind of gave her the prequel story to how she ends up being the character in the film you like?
I have not watched that, but I've read the book for Misery. So if it ties anything into the book, she was a nurse killing her own patients. Is that
I will tell you, they nailed it 100%.
Perfect.
Furthermore, the actress that they got to play her, they managed. She managed to find all of the nuances of the dialect and how she presented herself. Like, you would watch this and go, okay, that's Kathy Bates young,
nice,
as Annie Wilkes.
What's weird is you've never heard anybody talk about that. I've never heard one word about Castle Rock season 2.
It's a beautifully and
sure
well done, well
is Hulu
captured.
doing a third season?
I don't know.
Everyone's seen. So I think everyone's familiar with this scene. James Caan's laying in the bed. She puts a block of wood between his feet, and she hits it with a sledgehammer. Right. That's the crux of this. In the book, in the actual book, she cuts one of his feet off with a hatch with an axe. So she swings on one side. You hear the bone squeak as she withdraws the blade, hits the other side, and then she cauterizes the entire wound with a blowtorch.
I dare you to walk right now. Everybody get up
and
walk.
I can't.
This is a hard watch, but here we go. I'm going to play it for you right. Let me unmute my shit. Yeah.
Is the Skype sound better?
Meow.
No?
Paul, do you know about the early days at the Kimberley diamond mines? Do you know what they did to the native workers who stole diamonds? Don't worry, they didn't kill them. That would be like junking a Mercedes just because it had a broken spring. No, if they caught them, they had to make sure they could go on working. But they also had to make sure they could never run away. The operation was called hobbling.
Annie, whatever you think about doing, please don't do it. Annie, for God's...
Shh, darling. Trust me.
God's sake.
It's for the best.
Annie, please!
Oh.
Almost done. Just one more. God, I love you.
The quiet desperation in James Caan's voice as Annie, please don't. Like, it's just, he gets the Academy Award. Right? Yeah, he gets the Academy Award for me. God, that's such a hard scene to watch.
And James Caan is here to accept it.
I love the Moonlight Sonata playing in the background, and she's giving him the little diatribe before she goes and breaks both of his ankles. It's just, it's such a crazy, insane piece of cinema history.
It's one of those movies that I haven't seen probably in 20 fucking years, but it's like lives in you.
Yeah, you'll never forget the moment you watch that. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. That's
just the way that she plays the character. You never seen her before in anything, but like she's just like that looks like that everyday woman that might, it looks like Miss Renee, you know.
A little bit.
Yeah. And then she's just, you know, murdering her favorite writer.
Yeah. Gentlemen, on these Skype lines, what were your thoughts? Courtney? Ty?
Oh yeah. I don't know. I think I may have seen it twice, but I've heard that clip probably 30 times.
It's impossible. He just pulled it.
There's no nobility, right? I don't like the cussing. Annie, they're street kids. That's how they talk.
Dirty Bird.
That. Yeah. I couldn't even tell you a whole lot much more about the movie.
It's like
not
Grant reading one of my stories.
How it ends.
I don't like all the cussing.
But how do we get to this movie? I thought we were talking about Die Hard 2.
We got an hour. We got to hit more than one.
Nope.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just follow along.
Ty, what about you?
So yeah, that's all I
It's in
got.
the replay.
I'm just surprised to. I must have only been 10 or 11 years old when I saw this movie, which in retrospect seems bad. Like my parents.
I feel like I was about that old. How old were you? How old are you?
He doesn't need a babysitter, honey.
41. I'm 40. 43. Yeah, so maybe I was 12. But I remember seeing this like when it first came out on video, and it was haunted me.
Yeah, it stuck with me for a long time. I can't say that I go back to this movie. Like I remember it's one of those movies though that for a long time I would run on cable, and I would definitely stick with it if that was the case. But I don't think I'm electing to go back and watch because I know that's coming, and I don't want to sit through it.
Oh no!
Wow.
I think the story alone, the acting, I think is worthy of like sitting through again. I should go revisit this. I mean, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to haunt my kids. I'm going to set them down and be like, we're going to watch a family movie.
Read the book. The book is really...
Or I could read the book.
That's a good one. I like that one.
I'll watch the movie.
All right. Jay, what do you got? Or Grant, go ahead. What do you think on that list? What speaks to you?
A ton of them jump out. First of all, looking at this list that you provided through Ranker, which is not necessarily a comprehensive list of movies turning 30 per se, but it is a list, and I'm looking at it.
Can we go an hour without a critique?
You know,
I'm just wondering.
No. I'm sorry. That sounded wrong, but not how I meant. I guess what I'm saying is it not being comprehensive. The list you provided is so amazing.
No
right?
offense taken.
I worded it wrong. How I was trying to get my point out.
I love you so much.
I'm scrolling through these, and
is there too much?
It's not just too much. It's mind blowing. If all of these movies came out 30 years ago, the quality of films is staggering compared to how many come out in a given year now. In our older age, right?
Really?
The noteworthiness of these. I mean,
Delta Force 2.
No, okay, come on. Listen, that's pretty funny. Okay, you've got Home Alone, Goodfellas, Edward Scissorhands. I mean, look at this list. Total Recall, Pretty Woman, Back to the Future Part 3 wraps up one of the most amazing trilogies, of nostalgia ever. You picked Misery, Hunt for the Red October, arguably the best Jack Ryan film in the series.
You got submarine film?
False.
No, not best submarine film. No way.
What do you think? What do you
think?
Please say it.
Crimson Tide.
Das Boot.
Crimson Tide.
Das Boot.
Every single Denzel versus Gene Hackman on a sub.
Ty?
I miss fucking Gene Hackman.
Ty?
I miss Gene Hackman.
Best sub movie, Ty.
Oh, he's muted.
What happened to your mute? He's a mute. I didn't do nothing to your sound. I swear to.
Wow, sorry. Okay. I'm trying to help with the echoing.
Appreciate that.
Pay attention to that. Yeah. Best sub movie.
Say it.
My favorite is Crimson. I'm not sure if that's the best.
Okay, to my point, and if it's
down
the case,
Periscope.
it's the case. Down Periscope's funny. That's really funny.
Someone find Tubman and fire him out of a torpedo.
Have you seen?
How do you have a quote to that?
See, this is how it works. Have you seen Das Boot?
Duh.
Yes, but not
okay. All right. Jürgen Prochnow is just.
Is it black and white?
No, it's not. But it's an
Jürgen
amazing.
Prochnow.
Yep.
I thought that was Wolfgang Peterson.
Wolfgang Puck.
So Jürgen Prochnow is the star. He's in the film, right?
Yeah.
You've got Young Guns 2. You already mentioned Die Hard 2.
I got a clip from that.
We got a clip from Young Guns.
The original Tremors.
That's a good one.
There's a great. Was I watching it on Netflix or YouTube? It might be on Netflix, but there's
I watched it with my kids last week.
The behind the scenes. Or are you
about
talking
the documentary?
Oh, you went to the documentary.
I did. I watched it where they all came back except for Fred Ward, and so I'm not sure. Did Fred Ward pass away? And I'm unaware.
He wasn't in 2, right? Is that what you're talking about?
He came back in a couple of them, didn't
right,
he?
No. What I'm saying is
Kevin Bacon didn't.
No, listen. In the documentary that I watched, this behind the scenes thing, everyone came back to talk about the making of Tremors. The only person who wasn't there was Fred Ward. So it was something.
Is Fred
you've got Ghost that came out 30 years ago. You've got Dances with Wolves, Arachnophobia.
Does anybody watch Arachnophobia since they weren't kids? I went and saw that in the theater when I was a kid. And I thought it was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. And I've never watched it. And I thought maybe I just wasn't of the right age.
Terrified.
Because it was like a dark comedy, right?
Are you afraid of spiders?
Was it comedy?
Yeah,
it was a dark
comedy horror.
It was like Jeff Daniels and whoever owns a farmhouse, and they got like some mother queen spider in a barn. They don't know where all these spiders are coming from, and John Goodman plays this like quirky, exterminator.
He was
comes
in True
to the
Detective
house.
in 2015, so I don't think he's dead. Eddie Velcoro.
Okay, I was curious because I wonder why he didn't come back to do that. That's
they didn't offer enough money.
After Arachnophobia, you've got Flatliners, which I saw twice at the drive-in when I was younger.
Yeah,
and
scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, but here's the thing: go back. I watched this here maybe a year ago. Go back and watch this film. It holds up. It holds up.
That kid
the
gave
kid
me
with
nightmares.
the baseball bat, right?
God.
And the entire time that Bacon is on, every time she shows up, but particularly the scene when Bacon is on the subway and she's
Kevin Bacon,
she's hammering him and just hammering him. And Ty, your thoughts on Flatliners?
Flatliners, I agree. Flatliners is wildly underrated, considered like a modern day classic kind of thing you can watch today. And it looks like
is that De Palma?
In the sense.
No, it's Joel Schumacher.
That's who it is, Joel Schumacher. Yeah.
Yeah, that's now I'm gonna have to go home and watch it because I don't think my kids have seen it, and I think it's the remake was terrible.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, but the remake kind of had like a who's who sort of like coming uppers, right?
Yeah, it wasn't a remake. It was more like a tack on. You've got Predator 2, garbage. Gremlins 2, garbage. Days of Thunder.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Top Gun on a pavement.
That's Tony Scott, man.
Oh,
that's right.
Michael Rooker.
Give me some lovin'.
Michael Rooker in that. That's like.
Yeah.
Michael Rooker is this great character actor, right? But the majority of people that are younger than us who aren't into cinema, right? They don't know a lot of Rooker's earlier works.
Cliffhanger.
But when you start looking at Rooker's done kind of, I guess, more into his career, some of his characters are like almost cartoonish and repetitive. And recently, I watched Love and Monsters, and he's only in this entire film for like 10 minutes, but it is seriously the most normal, down-to-earth kind of world-weary character that he's ever played. Like it was subdued and it wasn't cartoonish in any way. And I was reminded why I love the guy so much as an actor. You've got The Witches, which is now we see a remake of that coming out this year.
Didn't that come out?
It's available right
the
now.
23rd?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's available right now.
Mallrats too for Michael Rooker.
Yes.
So
he's got the poop fingers.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
The
Stink Palm.
Stink Palm.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. The original Witches is from 30 years ago.
Mississippi Burning.
A lot of sequels.
Why
you'll note.
did you scan over one of the greatest films ever made? Look at you, huff and puff.
Rocky
you're,
V?
Like I can't fucking have a say.
Yo, no, you can.
Men at Work.
Okay, fair enough. Funny movie. Funny movie.
Wasn't written by Emilio Estevez and
Emilio!
Charlie Sheen, right?
Just Emilio.
Emilio, and he directed it. I remember thinking it was one of the coolest movies when I was a kid.
It was funny.
And then who's the guy? The guy that's like shops at like the Salvation Army or some shit. And he wears like nothing but camouflage.
David?
Isn't the gun a BB gun? They find at the end. Like he's
you
got to
guys
buy like
know-
shotgun the whole time.
Did you guys know that Michael Rooker was also in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yes, of course.
Okay. He was in
He
makeup.
was?
I didn't know if you guys recognized him.
That's pretty funny. He was also in Slither, which is why he maintains that relationship with James Gunn.
The follow-up to Anaconda, right?
Oh my God, that's funny.
Jennifer Lopez, Ice Cube.
Another sequel
White.
in Movies Turning 30. You've got another sequel, right? So what is this? Our third or fourth sequel? We've got another 48 Hours.
Pump up the volume.
Pump up the volume.
That's why I'm a podcaster.
Starting to get loopy.
So for me, Pump Up the Volume is nostalgic. I remember this being the movie that I absolutely fell in love with Christian Slater. I'd seen some of his other works, but this one,
Go on.
for whatever reason, it was amazing.
I've got 3 clips left here. I've got Goodfellas, which is 2 minutes long. I got Total Recall, 2:45, and I got Young Guns 2, which is another 2:45. Which of those 3 would you guys like to hear? If we're gonna go on, Young Guns 2.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
There you go.
That wasn't on the list.
Clock's ticking, dude.
I know.
Young Guns.
If it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, it would be the scene where Vanilla Ice raps.
Go Vanilla.
So one of the unique, I guess, minutia trivia points is we do Movies Turning 30 every year, and we have never gotten through a list that we created. So I'm glad that you created sound bites. So let's jump back and forth between those and this list that's in front of us, and we'll just keep cramming them out.
With your permission.
Con su permission.
Yeah.
With your permission.
Which one would you guys like to hear
I want to hear
first?
some Young Guns.
Young Guns
Oh my
2?
God.
It's Young Guns 2. It's
Yeah.
the scene where he takes on the guy from Jurassic
Sam
Park.
Neill.
Sam Neill. You got
I
it
never
this
even
time.
knew that. Like I'm watching. I'm like,
Sam
oh my
Neill's
God.
the bounty hunter in the
I
bar.
know. I'm very familiar with
Okay,
the
sorry.
film. Absolutely
I
love
forgot
it.
who I was talking to.
Ty, you're a fan? Yes or no?
Of Young Guns, Young Guns 2? Am I a fan of it?
Yoo-hoo, make you famous.
Did you go down in a blaze of glory?
In the world of sequels, because we started the show off, right? Where are you at with that as a sequel, as a predecessor?
I think it's fine. Casting-wise, it's incredible, and that's
Sure.
True story.
I'll always watch young Emilio Kiefer and Lou Diamond Phillips, Christian Slater,
Chavez.
That's always a good time. It's much better than a lot of. Even as corny and as 80s as it feels, it's much better than a lot of the more modern day westerns that you get these days. I watched one recently. Some Jesse James movie, and it's
Unforgiven still.
It's like I'm waiting.
Oh, is that the Jesse James? Was it Jesse James that
the assassination?
Ethan Hawke wrote and directed, or was it Vincent D'Onofrio and who's the one that was in that Quibi show, the Stranger? What's his name?
Dane DeHaan.
Yeah, wasn't Dane DeHaan?
Yes. Yeah, I think I'm really anti Dane DeHaan.
I liked him in Chronicle, but he's never really won me over since then.
Correct. I agree.
No.
And Spider-Man was a huge misstep for his career.
Also with Young Guns 2, which we're about to hear, this scene for 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
How long?
I really wish this was Young Guns 1, where they were having the peyote trip. We could have played that audio. You guys,
I got it. You ready? It goes.
Butterflies. so many beautiful butterflies.
Like,
did I get it?
It's like the guy, fucking Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
But that's what happens, right? That's how the audio plays out. Did I nail it or not?
Yeah,
I need to know. I need to know.
Perfect. Quick side note: my friend at work made me laugh the hardest I've ever laughed in my entire life when he quoted Buffalo Bob or Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. He's like, "Wait a second." What's she one of those big old fat girls? Like, just out of nowhere hit me with that.
Worked with a guy who used to all the time.
Cracked me up. All right, here's Young Guns 2.
All right, let's hear it.
Are you really gonna kill Billy the Kid?
Does a horse piss where she pleases? Yeah, if he's man enough to come around here.
Is that the gun you're gonna shoot him down with? Can I touch it? Please?
Can I touch it?
You know, sir, I do admire you, and I sure would like to touch the gun that's gonna kill Billy the Kid.
You know Iron Boy?
Yes, sir.
Now I gotta go home and watch this.
This is a good scene.
Have a look. You pass her back. That there gun killed Ed Rollins.
Just taking the old ammunition out of the gun.
Yeah.
Hey, barkeep, let's have a little round of stone fence for every little lady in the house. Okay, pass it back, son. Stroke a gun like that, you might as well be stroking a man's woman. Pass it up.
God, Emilio was on point.
I forgot how I watched this the other day. This clip. He's very
I'm leaving
sadistic.
right now, and want to know what to look for in case I run into him. I'll come back and tell
Yes,
you.
he is.
That's kid.
Yeah, he's sadistic. I'm gonna take your guns out of your bullet. I'm laughing about it. I'm gonna kill you in your face.
And people say he's
What do you call
fond of
that?
whistling sad ballads. Now, you get out there in the street and you see somebody that fits that bill, well, you just come whispering to me.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Hey, I see him.
Looks in the bar mirror.
Right there. Don't you see him?
Is that so now? You know, boy, I'm getting a little tired of your wise lip. Now, you get yourself someplace else before I have to drop your britches in front of all these fine ladies and spank your little bottom blue.
How is he not sadistic?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure, you are a testy little cuss.
And he's like, I took the good bullets out of your gun.
Such a great scene.
Just keeps whistling.
And then he just looks back at his friends who were sitting in the other room at the table.
you notice?
Like, we're used to your fucking shit, Billy.
Did you notice Kiefer he pulled a gun, like he said?
Yes.
I know you with Kiefer. Every time I see him, I think of that fucking Teen Mom.
So you're saying sadistic. I don't know. Ty, do you read that role, that portrayal of that particular version as sadistic? I don't.
Well, I kind of feel like that's Billy the Kid.
Yes.
character. I should correct myself. I didn't mean Jesse James earlier.
Billy the Kid.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
That's what 2019 is
Okay.
the Kid. Ethan Hawke's the best part of that movie.
Speaking of which, real quick, I'm going to interject, as I like to do. If because of Ethan Hawke, if you have not watched his latest project, it is mind blowing. It's called The Bird. Damn it, and I lost it. Do you know what?
It's called
The Good Lord Bird. Wow, what a role. Okay, continue.
Yes. Good Lord Bird is actively waiting for me to start it on my DVR. But I've been busy with the boys, and then we crushed through Utopia. And not to sidebar too, but if you haven't watched Utopia, you should. I can't imagine how much it would mindfuck us if it had been January, February.
Even just watching it now, like all of the little elements that they've got, aside from a non-stalker fucking killer bunny walking around killing people, they pretty much nailed today.
Hang on, I haven't watched it. You're saying binge-worthy. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I will do that, and I will tell you when you dig into The Good Lord Bird, what I would have you do, what I would have anyone who's listening do prior to watching it, okay? Just do a Google search for Ethan Hawke, Good Lord Bird, NPR interview. It is one of the most interesting interviews I've ever heard. It also shows that the creation of the Good Lord Bird, like, he knows his history. He's interpreting it the best way he can. And the writer...
Is this a documentary or a biopic on Cole when he was a birdwatcher?
That's pretty funny.
Stand by.
Either way, I guarantee people will love this.
Keyword searches again. Ethan Hawke, Good Lord Bird, NPR.
NPR interview. And it's 45 minutes of Ethan Hawke talking about his career, but particularly because The Good Lord Bird has come out, and it is something else. So
because of you, Grant, I've got 3 things I have on my homework list. Breeders on FX, I need to watch that. These Final Hours, and Ethan Hawke, Good Lord Bird, NPR
See
interview.
what this podcast does for you.
There you go.
Remember the homework list you used
I'm putting
to
a
get?
list together of things I need. And I also got Dan Crenshaw's interview.
I like how everyone says he's not sadistic, so I guess I don't know what sadistic
I think he's
means.
sadistic.
Thank you.
So
I don't think he's
there you go.
I think he's just
So yeah, there you go. Joel Reviews in the chat writes sociopathic but not sadistic.
We didn't ask you, Joel.
There you go.
So he's heartless.
All right.
Heartless.
I don't know. You might be splitting hairs there.
Ty, go ahead and wrap up Young Guns 2
Yeah.
and your thoughts, and we'll move on through the list to the next clip.
That was really
That's
my
the person
last
with the
one.
PhD.
Psychopathy versus sadism, and just last thing about the Good Lord Bird. It's based on a novel by James McBride. And I remember hearing an interview with Ethan Hawke. I'm a big proponent of Ethan Hawke. Pretty much everything he does.
Thank you.
Apparently, someone on set at another movie was telling him.
Yes. Okay. That might be.
And he didn't really know anything about it, and decided to look into it, and really put this production.
And then throughout the entire making of it, he's communicating with McBride, and McBride is feeding him things that he didn't actually get into the book, particularly when they're trying to find his voice for the character, the little nuances, because apparently Ethan is a huge improviser on set. And so McBride was feeding him all these other tidbits of knowledge. And when you're watching, certainly within the first episode, when you're watching it, had you listened to this interview, you'll see Ethan throw these details that aren't in the book, and right away you'll pick up on where it came from, and it adds a little bit of humor into it. So, yeah, check that out. Joel versus the Volcano, movie's turning 30.
Fucking love that movie.
Man,
Who doesn't?
I haven't watched that in forever.
That is a classic.
It's very good.
Meg Ryan trilogy.
Jacob's Ladder.
Is that the... No, I was thinking Lawnmower Man. Is that something?
Oh my, I saw that in the theater, and that is when VR was like, or
oh my god, it was like the most fascinating thing.
Yeah. Why am I pulling those two together?
Jeff Fahey. Wow.
What are you pulling together? Lawnmower Man and what?
Man and Jacob's Ladder.
They're both Stephen King, right?
Mental. I don't know.
Maybe Jacob's Ladder wasn't.
Why do I think of those together?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Presumed Innocent with Harrison Ford. Excellent, classic, great film. The Godfather Part 3 I can't speak to, as we all know. I'm not a Godfather person.
You could be.
I could, right? David Lynch's Wild at Heart. Another shit sequel, also known as RoboCop 2. The great comedy of Bird on a Wire. with anti-Semite Mel Gibson.
My God, I went and saw that in the theater. I thought it was one of the greatest movies in the world when I was a kid.
What's that?
Bird on a Wire with Goldie Hawn and Mel Gibson. I love that movie.
My Blue Heaven. Shout out to Rick Moranis, who decided to step out into the limelight after retiring just to get punched in the face.
Throat.
Oh my God! House Party, Kid and Play. What? Miller's Crossing. Steve Buscemi, Frances McDormand by the Coen Brothers. What a classic! What a another notch in their awesome career. Internal Affair. Dark Angel. Ty, speak to Dark Angel. Please tell me you've seen it.
I don't even. The only Dark Angel I know is the TV show.
James Cameron's Dark Angel.
To be fair, I'm looking at it thinking it was one film. It's not.
Speak to it, please.
So here's what's funny. I read that, and in my head, I actually read Angel Heart.
Oh, yeah.
With Lisa Bonet.
Is that the movie where there's like a gunfight in a hotel room and she's butt naked and her boobs don't move once?
That's Dragonheart.
Okay. No, that's the one with Robert De Niro, Mickey Rourke, and Lisa Bonet, and it turns out that...
I feel like I'm on the right path.
Mickey Rourke is, in fact, actually the devil himself.
What do you have against Rocky V? Earlier. One of the best speeches in cinema history.
So the Dark Angel that I read, just out of a joke, is actually titled "I Come in Peace." Right, that's how it was released here.
Dolph Lundgren.
It had Bill Maher as a police officer, the star of the film, outside of Dolph Lundgren. Nightbreed by David Cronenberg. I read the book by Clive Barker. Outstanding. Here's one for Jay. Movies turning 30. The Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
My hair. You didn't think we'd kill the fucking koala, did you?
All right. Out of those that I mentioned,
come on, what's wrong? Come on, we gotta talk about
that. I threw
who directed Adventures of Ford Fairlane. Rennie Harlan.
You know, his career's been up and down, right?
I'm sorry I made you clean all the toilets, but who does all the work in bed?
So, of all the films I mentioned in this string before,
I'm trying to fix the sound, people.
Cole's next clip. Ty, where are you at with any of those movies?
Give us your top 5, Ty.
No, the ones I just threw out. Which one stands out? And you're like, oh yeah, that was a good one.
Well, you mentioned so many.
I know. That's why I said give us your 5.
And he's like, I wasn't paying attention.
Fair enough. Anytime I start talking, my wife is the same way. She's like, what? I wasn't paying attention.
I think I'm gonna have to say after number 36 on this list, I don't know a single one of these fucking movies. After Three Men and the Little Lady, I don't know any of these. Like
Three Men and a Little Lady.
Yeah, that's the last one I recognize.
I was just going to say,
Marked for Death.
Go through this list and look at all the sequels that somehow managed to populate it.
Oh, I guess I'm into the 50s.
Yeah, you mentioned Father 3, and that's in the pantheon of terrible with Rocky. In fact, what I wanted to hear was Cole defend Rocky 5 because it's so egregious.
Okay, I'm not going to defend Rocky 5. I'm going to say the best. I would guess monologue by Sylvester Stallone when he's talking to his son about life hitting hard and picking yourself back up.
So it's a moment in the film.
Yes, a moment
right?
in the film. Correction.
Yeah, didn't save it. Tommy Gunn, turns out he had AIDS during the filming of that, correct?
You just talked about how you love that speech. He's like, moment in the film, didn't save it.
Yeah, well, no, he's right. He's right. I agree. I misspoke when I said that was a good... What do you got against Rocky 5? I would say there's a good moment in that film.
You liked it? Let me shit on you.
I'm really getting sick of your passive-aggressive shit on this fucking show today.
Who, me?
No.
Oh, I was commenting on someone else's.
Was I correct? Tommy Gunn, it turned out
you were
that
saying
he had AIDS,
HIV.
right?
I didn't know that.
Or was HIV
yes,
positive?
After that movie.
And during all of that, he had gotten cut up during some of the sparring and in the filming of it, and that became a real issue.
Did you guys know Magic Johnson had AIDS?
I heard somewhere.
Yeah. He used magic to get rid of it.
I Love You to Death, Lawrence Kasdan.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
That great film, right? Lawrence Kasdan. What else did he do?
Quadfather, you've been awfully quiet. You get to pick
okay,
next.
Oh, hold on.
Wait, Lawrence Kasdan. Lawrence Kasdan. He did the Western.
Lawrence Kasdan wrote Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Star Wars.
What's the Western?
Silverado.
Thank you.
Silverado.
Man. You want to talk about a good Western, Ty? Silverado.
Isn't that Kevin Kline?
I was making it work.
Oh.
I don't know. I had to watch the Long Riders lately after my co-host Chris kept talking about it, and part of it looks like a modern office film. It's anything like that.
No, Silverado's going to have. It's got Scott Glenn, Klein, Danny Glover. It's got who's the villain in that one? Brian Dennehy.
Oh,
is the villain in
Danny
that?
Trejo in there somewhere?
Danny Trejo. That's funny. God, what a career that guy's had. Postcards from the Edge, Mo Better Blues, Graffiti Bridge.
We just lost Brian, didn't we?
The classic Ghost Dad, featuring everyone's favorite
Hannibal Buress' own Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
What I'm going to try and do while you queue up the next clip, Cole, is I'm going to try and find like maybe some diamonds in the rough on this list of movies.
Quad Father, who's suspiciously quiet. We got Goodfellas and Total Recall left. Which one would you prefer?
Did we talk about Back to the Future?
I know he wants that.
You had one job. Let's just answer a direct question.
He wants to geek out about a movie.
All right. The second one that I mentioned.
Still there once Quad talks. Total Recall.
I got to be honest. You're not wrong, Cole. After a certain number, these just turn into garbage.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go with. I'm pulling the trigger. We're going with the Goodfellas. This is the scene where. Jesus, I can't think of his name.
A man stands alone at the plate.
What's his name? Ray Liotta comes up and picks up his wife, and she's been hit on and accosted by a neighbor, and he handles it in the only way he knows how, and that's with pistol stroking motherfuckers.
What happened? What happened? Are you all right?
Yeah.
Well, no, who did what?
This guy who lives across the street from me that I've known all my life. Look, he started to touch me. He started to grab me. I told him to stop. He didn't stop. I hit him back. And then he got really angry. He pushed me out of the car.
You sure you're all right? Huh? Why don't you go inside and get yourself together and clean up?
I'm impressed by your choices of scenes, as you're pilfering through, deciding, hey, what is going to best represent this movie?
Oh, hey! What are you doing? I swear my fucking mother, if you touch her again, you're dead!
Don't shoot!
Boy, that is a hard scene to listen to.
Quad, can you talk to me? Okay, I can still hear you. Let's see if the audience can hear you.
Are you all right? Are you all right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I know there are women like my best friends who would have gotten out of there the minute their boyfriend gave them a gun to hide. But I didn't. I gotta admit the truth. It turned me on.
Me too.
Is that Lorraine Bracco?
So I guess we need a women's perspective, and we have one to my right. Kyle, come on up here on the mic and cozy on up and let us know.
What do you feel about a man beating a woman?
Yeah, man beats a woman on your behalf. Oh, no, man beats a guy on your behalf that was really roughing you up, and then he hands you that bloodied gun and tells you, go hide this in the bread box, Gail.
Well, you see, I'm kind of a dumbass, so I would fight back. So there wouldn't necessarily be that man stepping it. Because, violence is not the answer.
Oh, fair enough.
As we learned,
it's true.
Okay, let me rephrase the question. Quad, when your wife beats the shit out of you when you miss that, when you forget to sweep the living room floor, and how does that make you feel? If she were to hand
lines in the carpet,
I said no wire hangers. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up.
No, I think that would be a dicey situation.
So you wouldn't get turned on.
No, I don't think that's hot. I don't think hiding a bloody gun is hot.
It was a different time period, folks.
Apparently.
Yeah.
So you can hear Quad and Ty through just Quad's feed, and there's no echo.
Sounds like it.
Okay. Sorry, fellas. I'm doing multiple things here.
It's all good.
No, we'll tack on another 7 hours. No, we can tack on another 7. We'll do this.
I say we start over.
I'm all about it. Let's do it.
Tomorrow morning.
Start again.
Yep.
It's all good, fellas.
Can we start with?
We have enough
Frank,
food.
can you reread this?
Joel,
Yeah.
Joel, you are absolutely killing it in the chats. I appreciate your participation. I particularly like your most recent Bill Cosby, the ultimate supervillain. He fucked everybody's childhood.
Fair enough. All right, I want Ty's top 5 in this list.
A bunch that you haven't mentioned.
Yeah.
I think is the
Sweet.
answer. Well, we talked about
Yep.
Days of Thunder, but number one for me is probably got to be Goodfellas. Just for I think it's Scorsese's best movie, and it's the rewatchability of it is incredible. I specifically remember that it came on a DVD that you had to flip over, and that was like the only time you ever had to do that. So Total Recall for sure.
Yeah.
I'll defend Back to the Future Part 3, probably more than most. I think it's a lot better.
I watched,
than people
I'm
give
with
credit
you.
for.
I watched
I'm
the
with
trilogy
you.
with the kids recently, and I had a blast all the way through.
Who's knocking it?
Yeah.
Who knocks it?
They say it's the worst of the movies, or it shouldn't have been made. I've heard a lot of people trash it, but you know what? A lot of good callbacks.
I couldn't stand
rounds
two.
everything. I love the.
I could not stand number
Really?
2. Quad will probably hang me out to dry. You'll hang me out to dry. I hated number 2. I couldn't get past the Biff character and the overacting and the terrible.
If anything, it was overload.
Yes.
Overload. But it kind of works because that's what you needed to do, and it was fun jumping.
Yeah,
Time jumping.
I like that they
all
kind
over
of go
the place.
back into the first movie. I like all of it. Okay, what else you got, bud?
As far as top 5, that's pretty close to it for me. You know what? I'm going to go ahead, and we haven't talked about this, and there's probably no reason to podcast about it because it's been talked to death, but Home Alone is probably this movie from 1990 that I watch more than any because I have children, right? And they're now of the age where they can identify with Kevin McAllister, so it's now a holiday tradition for us to watch that movie. It's obviously the high watermark of Macaulay Culkin's career.
I like the what's the Netflix series, How It Was Made or whatever.
Yep.
And they did the episode on Home Alone.
There's a
really fucking cool.
Cinema We Love. Is that the name of the Netflix?
Movies We Love.
Movies
I thought.
We Love.
Yeah.
Going through that because I'm a huge fan, Ty, as well of Home Alone. I remember
someone owes me $132.50.
I was working at the movie theater at the time that film was released, and so
God, you're old.
You're going in there and you're clean. You're waiting for the film to end, or you're just standing in there checking on the thing. And after weeks and weeks and weeks of this, you've seen the movie a dozen times, and it never got old. I mean, that's the
Home Alone. Oh, this fucking movie played forever in the theater.
It did, but what I'm saying is like that movie plays today, and it makes me feel the same way as it did at that time.
Still feel like a little
How are you guys glossing over Ernest Goes to Jail?
That in and of itself is the earmark of a great film.
Tangent. I just saw a meme the other day that said John Cena is slowly turning into Ernest. And it was a fucking picture of them side by side, and he fucking looks like Ernest.
Okay, well, I got two that.
Real quick, let me finish what I was saying
buddy,
before
sorry.
you did the Ernest thing. The series that we're talking about, the Movies We Love or whatever, it dives so deep into how Home Alone was created and all the challenges and steps. One of the most amazing things to learn is the house they actually used versus where they built it for all the interiors. Inside of a pool.
Is it Movies That Made Us? Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah.
That must
That's
be
what
it.
it is.
Yeah.
It's if you're a fan of Home Alone, you
Is it because
absolutely
there's a
have to
bunch
watch
of
this.
men here and they don't want to admit it, or do they? I mean, how are you guys not going to talk about Pretty Woman?
Oh, good movie.
I mean,
I have.
fucking
You know,
excellent.
I love Julia.
Yeah.
Julia
Oh, that's
Roberts.
true.
I have a big fan for her. She's.
Fucking Pretty Woman's a great
kissing on
movie.
the
Gary
mouth.
Marshall.
I've seen that movie. I've seen Pretty Woman more than almost any one of those movies on the list because it's my wife's favorite.
And deservedly so. It earns all kudos that it gets. It's a great film.
Now, one movie I could watch whenever it's on, Dances with Wolves. I could watch that over and over and over.
Really?
That's one of my
I've seen
favorites.
it once, and I was like, I get
that
it.
in like Open Range. I don't know if it's a thing. I got a little thing for Costner.
Open Range
or
is
what.
so fucking good.
Yeah. I love those old Western vibe. And I love the fucking Tibbins, the wagon driver. Yo, now there, bit. Fucking
So being a Costner fan, you're probably watching Yellowstone, right?
I can't. I don't have the.
Yes.
It's Dallas and Dynasty and Falcons Creek set in the hills of Montana.
Okay.
It's
Have you ever watched Dallas Dynasty or Falcon Crest?
No.
I didn't think so. Have you heard of any of them?
Dallas. I've heard
Okay.
of Dallas.
Go ahead. Sorry, that's my.
Is it an unpopular opinion to say that I really dislike Julia Roberts?
Wow, really?
I think it's an unpopular opinion, but that doesn't make it wrong, right?
No, fight me though. Come fight me.
Yeah.
I think I would want you to. I think I would want you to back up your opinion to an extent to say
is it
where
because of Mary Riley?
How you create that?
My Best Friend's Wedding is one of my favorite fucking movies. Or no, it's not even the Best Friend's Wedding.
Is
it's
it you don't?
I was gonna say, don't they sing in that one?
The look on your face.
Is that
You
the
find
one
her
where they
attractive?
sing at the Crab Shack?
It's Cameron Diaz.
Say a
and-
little prayer for you.
Yeah, I love that fucking movie.
What?
I do. It's
That's
guilty.
That's the only Julia Roberts movie that I like.
Morning I wake
Really,
up
I would have you watch
on my makeup.
August Osage County.
Oh, so
yeah.
fucking good.
So good.
She was in that?
There's no way you're gonna. There's no way you're gonna walk
She
out
held
of
her
that
own
and
against
not
Meryl
have
Streep.
new respect for
Eat
Julia
your
Roberts.
fucking fish, Mom.
Oh my God!
What's the one you pulled us for?
I also like the Pelican Brief.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Outstanding, right there. So I mean, we can keep going, right? Let's name off all the
Right, all
Julia
of a sudden,
Roberts
Ty's
movies,
coming.
and by the
Ty's
end of it,
gonna
you're
be
gonna
like, I'm
like
a
her.
fan.
Homecoming on what's
Homecoming.
it?
Homecoming.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you watch Homecoming on Hulu? It was based on a podcast.
On Amazon Prime.
What's the billboards of? Is what I
Evan
was thinking
County.
of.
Yeah,
that's
Missouri,
the-
Evan County. Yeah.
Okay.
That
August
movie,
Osage County.
like I watched.
Francis McDormand. Yeah.
I watched that, and
Woody
I
Harrelson in that movie.
couldn't.
It's a fucking perfect film.
I struggled though at points going. Could people really behave like they were like when he throws them out of the window? You know, I'm just like, what the fuck is
Wild
going
Bill
on?
from The Green Mile.
Yeah, it just
what's his name?
didn't
I
make
love
sense.
that fucking scene.
But hearing him say, you know, it's an unpopular opinion to dislike Julia Roberts. I don't know that it's necessarily unpopular, but for the longest time she was America's sweetheart, and then of course you had Reese Witherspoon take the crown up, and there's always somebody to
And neighbor Cole's got a crush on her. That's.
But just you starting to name ones where you're like, and this one, maybe you don't dislike her as much as you say.
What movie do you hate her in?
Yeah, there you go.
Most of them?
All of them.
Like for me, I've got to overcome the presence of Julia Roberts to get invested in the story.
Is it the mouth?
I think it's part of it. Yeah, I think it's just She looks like, you remember those commercials for the Reach toothbrush? Either get a flip top head or get a Reach toothbrush. To me, that's Julia Roberts. Looks like
Yeah,
she's.
she looks like she's got about 14 extra teeth.
Hold on.
God, you guys are mean.
Yeah.
What about Stepmom? That's a
I've never
tearjerker
seen that.
every single time.
My wife loves that movie, and I feel like that's one that will break me if I sit down, you know, more than other films. Like the one time I watched it, I just felt broken afterwards. Like it just
Captain
doesn't-
Hook is Tinkerbell.
Boo,
How about
Boo, terrible
Tinkerbell?
The
Okay.
whole movie, really.
How about Conspiracy Theory?
Yeah,
Mel Gibson, your favorite?
Sold, winner. Yeah.
Yep. What else we got here? Sleeping with the Enemy? Sleeping
what
with
about
the
the one-
Enemy? Come on, Ty.
Story of my life.
My best friend's wedding.
A lot of these movies are
We just talked about that. Mystic Pizza.
A lot of these movies that you mentioned.
Mystic
I hated that
Pizza.
movie. I'm just telling
Okay.
Steel Magnolias.
So you like the movies, you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
don't
there
like
you go.
her in the film.
Yeah.
Okay.
for the most part, and it's not an attractiveness thing. I can't put my finger on it.
Okay.
It's
I
not
want
one
to
of
put
those
things in her mouth.
So
Okay.
your homework tie, and then we
Lots
could
of
circle back up at some point is to watch, if you have not, August Osage County, and then you tell me if you walked away enjoying her performance and character. In
Based
that.
on a play. It's excellent.
Okay, yeah, that's an impenetrable title. That's why I had
No,
to
fair
give it a
enough,
chance.
fair enough. But
How do you spell Osage?
The title's as big as her mouth.
You know what makes that particular film, I guess, most noteworthy is it is based on a play, and there is a 20 or 25 minute scene that all takes place at a family dinner. So first of all, a lot of great character actors in it, a lot of noteworthy actors, but that particular scene, like that is the pinnacle of what am I looking for here?
Acting.
Yeah, it's just not just acting, but like
end the scene.
John Lovitz acting.
Yeah.
You know, those moments in a film that are so profound.
It's
and
riveting.
so
Like the whole time you're just like
engrossing.
The way the
What
camera
scene
moves
in what
the-
movie?
So it's August. We're talking about
Okay,
the
yeah.
right. It's the dinner scene,
The
which
whole
is what
cast
makes
is
the
at the
play
table.
famous,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's what people really go to see this, and somehow it translated to screen so perfectly, and the emotion seems so real and raw, and these two powerhouse actresses are going at it, and it's so believable. And
I didn't see that scene.
It's just like you can feel the pump in your chest while you're watching the scene. It's
It's exhausting though.
it is. It's
emotionally
exhausting. There you go. That's
Sorry.
Are we
It's
at-
emotionally
are we at an hour?
exhausting.
I think I would be remiss if we have a table full of 5 guys and 1 woman if we did not talk about the clay pottery scene from Ghost.
oh, for Pete's sake.
You have to talk about it. I mean,
I would melt in
it's
Patrick
totally
Swayze's
overdone,
arms.
but
Okay.
you have to talk about it.
That scene is pandering.
What's the song?
What?
Come on. Who's the artist from that movie?
It's the Righteous Brothers.
Righteous Brothers. Good job. Unchained Melody, right?
I hate that song, for the record.
How dare you?
I know, unpopular opinion. I hate it, but that's...
What if Julia Roberts were to sing on that song?
Unchained Melody to you.
I'd probably still hate it.
Would you love it?
I don't like ghosts.
I don't like ghosts.
He sounded like Brick from Anchorman. I hate Lamp.
I love Lamp. Yes, it's comedic.
Good work. Good work.
All right, Ty, give us your thoughts on Gremlins 2.
Oh my God.
I don't remember. I don't have any memory of Gremlins 2. Like, I can't parse it from the original. I don't. It's all the same thing.
So I got a question for you, Ty. You do the movie show. So as a movie, I guess, aficionado, whether you categorize yourself for that or not, you're doing a show that relies on your knowledge and your ability to view films and interpret and give your opinion, right? So do you find it frustrating when someone's like, hey, man, what's your favorite movie? Like, do you have a favorite movie as someone who is a film lover?
I used to when I was much younger. And if you pressed me on it, I'd probably go back to that. And it was Die Hard with a Vengeance. And I don't have a favorite anything. Like, it's fluid all the time. Like, music is fluid,
Sure.
movies are fluid. Entertainment to me is what am I into right now and what captured me. I'm always looking for something that's interesting or original. And I don't want to get out of this hour before we talk at least a little bit about Total Recall. Again, a movie that's probably had more hours recorded on it than most 90s
That's a perfect
films.
segue for this clip that I have. Here we go.
All right.
When we come back, Ty will continue to talk about Total Recall.
I love you.
Right.
Who's choosing
That's why
these
he tried
scenes?
to kill me.
No.
This guy, motherfucker.
I'd never do anything to hurt you.
Ty, while you're
I
listening,
want you to come back to me.
think in your head what scene you would have chosen that would have been entertaining.
Yeah, the extraction scene with the nose thing.
That you're having a paranoid episode triggered by acute neurochemical trauma? Or that you're really an invincible secret agent from Mars who's the victim of an interplanetary conspiracy to make him think he's a
I
lowly
chose this for
construction
discussion
worker.
purposes only.
That actor creeps me out.
Yeah.
And he's done his job.
He shouldn't have sweated. Sweat. Perspired.
Stop punishing yourself, Doug. You're a fine, upstanding man. You have a beautiful wife that loves you. Your whole life is ahead of you. But you've got to want to return to reality.
Let's assume I do. Then what?
Swallow this.
What is it?
It's a symbol of your desire to return to reality. Inside your dream, you'll fall asleep.
All right. Let's say you're telling the truth and this is all a dream. Then I could pull this
How
trigger.
wooden Arnold is. All
It
right.
won't matter.
Say you're telling the
It
truth.
won't make the slightest difference to me, Doug.
Get to the
But the
chopper.
consequences to you would be devastating. In your mind, I'll be dead.
son
With
of a
no one to guide
bitch.
you out, you'll be stuck in permanent psychosis.
Doug, let Dr. Edgemore help you.
The walls of reality will come crashing down. 1 minute, you'll be the savior of the rebel cause, and the next thing you know, you'll be Cohagen's bosom buddy. You'll even have fantasies about alien civilizations, as you requested, but in the end, back on Earth, you'll be lobotomized.
Okay, Morpheus.
So get a grip on yourself, Doug, and put down that gun.
Nice fucking fun. Nice.
Everything.
That whole scene, I thought I was...
Good. Now take the pill and put it in your mouth.
I guess I could have waited till then.
What if I told you?
Swallow it.
The blue
You're like
pill?
George. You're like
Or
George.
the red pill?
Hey, you're like George in the Hindenburg
Go
scene
ahead,
on
sweetheart.
Seinfeld. That's gotta hurt.
Are we still listening to a fucking movie?
Yes, he doesn't know when to cut it off.
Gotta wait for the gunshot. What did you do?
Now you've done it.
That suspense music sounds like something you get stock on GarageBand.
Everything in that day and age? Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously a clip from Total Recall. You brought it up. You cued it in. Ty, take us out with it.
Considered it a divorce.
Fuck yeah.
So if you're gonna play that long of a clip, you could cut
Oh, okay, let's everyone shit on me and my clip pulls. Okay, that's great.
Ladies and gentlemen, next year, Ty will be putting together movies turning 30.
Yep.
He will pull all the clips.
Do a much better job.
Right? And we'll have him lead the show.
And then I will have my day in the sun.
Nice. Seriously, while you're listening to that, though, weren't you like, this is really reminiscent of The Matrix? Like, there's a lot right here that, and then I'm thinking, those Wachowskis, sons of bitches, they stole all this.
I thought that I pulled this point. I was going to pull this clip or the clip where he extracts the fucking homing beacon out of his nose, but that's more of a visceral, visual type of thing where he's pulling it out of his nose, right? Special effects were pretty good at the time. Or the 3 boobs in the airport, or 3 boobs, or the costume in the airport where he's the woman or whatever. And
why is no one talking about Quado?
I like how important that scene from the original was. They felt compelled, like it was in the contract to put it in the remake with
which scene?
The 3-boobed alien.
I didn't see the remake. I didn't watch it.
All right, fair enough.
All right, nobody's going to talk about
I don't acknowledge the remake.
He's outside the atmosphere. And he's
yeah.
Come on, you gotta acknowledge that scene.
Why not acknowledge the remake? So you're saying the retelling, the remake, whatever.
That's a badass fight scene, man.
Hang on, I want to hear Ty's.
This movie didn't need to be remade, and
why?
What they did with it is not original enough.
Why?
What?
Yeah, why?
Why? Because it's Arnold, and it's peak Arnold. Like this is
that's.
I'm offended that Cole said he was wooden. I actually feel like this is a fairly nuanced performance from Arnold here. Plus we get peak Arnold grunting with the outside in the atmosphere, pulling the thing out of the nose. There's so much good.
So I feel like he was wooden in comparison to I think Arnold's peak was Predator. Arnold was
crazy.
natural on the film set with Predator.
What you guys are talking about, this is an argument I bring up all the time. So the way that he structured his response on his opinion is that it's a very nostalgic thing, right? You're treading on sacred ground as he remembers it, right? There's the technical aspect. It doesn't necessarily to resonate, but his love for Arnold and what it represented at the time for Arnold. But I will tell you right now, Arnold Schwarzenegger has turned in an amazing amount of performances long after he did these films that we all have this nostalgic attachment to. What was the one he did with Abigail Breslin, the zombie one? That was amazing.
It was
it was great.
Not Mama, but the hell's it was like one word.
Conan the Barbarian.
I don't recollect the title of it, but Abigail Breslin, essentially, it's a zombie.
Maggie.
Maggie. Okay, yeah. She's slowly turning, and he's doing everything he can to protect her and save. He's had a lot of great roles with really, really good performances that people don't see because they have an expectation.
Have you watched his latest
for him to be Arnold?
There's a latest one where he's a survivor. Not a survivor, but his wife and daughter died in a plane crash.
Yes, and that was a great film.
Super dark, right?
It is dark.
Who's the flight attendant?
I only
guy?
watched it once. I don't recollect.
John Malkovich.
No,
that's funny. Do you
John
get,
Cusack?
Do you get the argument that I'm making though, Ty? Like when it comes to kind of analyzing those things, that I find myself trying to determine, do I have a problem with this remake or this retelling of a story because I'm so attached to the nostalgia of the original?
I don't think you...
I do. And I think that there's something to be said for remakes if you're doing something more, something better. And when I watched that movie, Colin Farrell, for as talented as an actor as he is, which I think he's extremely good in a lot of things, these straight action movies, there's something wrong. I don't know. Maybe he's too understated. Maybe he's, when he's the second banana, I think it works a lot better in these action films. Like he's great in Minority Report, for instance, but not so much when he's the lead of a straight action movie. It just doesn't come off for me. And I think that takes me out of the movie a little bit. And then I don't need Total Recall to be remade. It's just, it's not that it's just nostalgic. It's that it's already good. It's modern enough that I didn't need to see it again. And it's sort of like Weezer's version of Africa. If you want to listen to Africa, just put on Toto and listen to Africa. You don't need to cover that song. So that's to me what Total Recall. And it was the story. I mean, it was a similar. It wasn't.
Are you saying then because some of these remakes or retelling a different director's vision? Are you saying they're not necessarily garbage? They're just unnecessary, and that's how you're that's your metric.
I'd rather use. Well, yeah, it's not just that. I'm much more interested in, if you're going to do a remake of a science fiction movie in particular, why not do just expanded universe? Give me a different story from the same time. Show me someone else who was tangentially involved in the main A-plot from the first movie. And give me, what was that? Show me something about the freedom fighters. Give me some other human that went to recall and somehow had this similar experience. This couldn't be a first-time thing.
Recall again.
How did she get
Well, they did have a shit. They did have a shit series for Total Recall that ran for a while. This component of the conversation makes me want to ask you about Denise's upcoming Dune.
Villeneuve?
Well, the first Dune movie is all over the place and almost impossible to watch if you haven't already read the book. So I do think there's something you can improve there. And I'm trying to think of because here's the thing. If you think about Total Recall, is there a scene that looks so bad that you're like, oh, I wish they'd had modern technology? No, they use practical effects in that movie to extremely effectively. And it's not like some of the other sci-fi movies that look bad because they're trying to take on too big of a world that simply can't be shown on screen at that time, or they just didn't execute it very well. Those movies I'm okay with remaking if I didn't enjoy the first one so much. And like you say, Sacred Ground, I think is the litmus test. It's not whether or not it needs to happen. It's, was this movie already really good, and is there an opportunity to make it better? Or are you just doing it because, hey, it's 25 years later and let's do a cash grab? Exactly.
Which is what happens a lot, right? We're rarely getting remakes or retelling or a different director's vision of the same material. And I think you hit the nail on the head with, I'm saddened by the fact that rights and all of the politics in Hollywood or contracts and things like that don't allow for telling these stories tangentially to the ones that we love, right? We can't revisit these characters, so to speak, or I would love to. You know what was a great? Here's a good, I guess, perfect point to what you're saying, Ty, is 10 Cloverfield Lane, probably one of the boom. Now, the remainder, Cloverfield Paradox, terrible, right? But when you take Cloverfield and 10 Cloverfield Lane and you put them together, outstanding how the events...
Because you're doing something in the same universe, but it's not just in the same universe.
It's not just the same universe. It's happening at the same time. Yeah. That was brilliant. And we don't get enough of that. Something buried in my head while we're talking about Arnold's performances and the nostalgia of it, right? We can always talk about Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? Because if you want to have your mind completely blown,
I do,
and you'll never see him the same way again, you have to watch JVCD.
Quick tie-in.
JCVD. Sorry.
What movie were Arnold and Jean-Claude supposed to both be in? Ah, good job.
They were in Predator.
Was the original